I just thought that maybe.
No, you didn't. You didn't think. You didn't have the guts to ask me either. Nobody does. Because who in their right mind wouldn't rather put someone in a home than drag them out of it? Up until 3 years ago, I was a regular old real estate agent. Putting people in homes, speculating on property, that was my job. Now, in 2006, Robert and Julia Tanner borrowed $30,000 to put an enclosed patio on their home that they had somehow managed to live without for 25 years. Why don't you ask them about that when they're spitting in your face while you walk them to the curb? Why don't you ask the bank what the hell they were thinking giving these people an adjustable rate mortgage? And then you can go to the government and ask them why they lifted every regulation and sat there like a retarded stepchild. You, Tanner, banks, Washington, every other homeowner and investor from here to China turned my life into evictions. I'm not an aristocrat. I wasn't born into this. My daddy was a roofer, okay? I grew up on construction sites watching him bust his ass until he fell off of a townhouse one day. A lifetime of insurance payments, and they dropped him before he could buy a wheelchair, but only after they got him hooked on painkillers. Now, do you think I'm gonna let that happen to me? Do you think America 2010 gives a flying rat's ass about Carver or Nash? America doesn't bail out the losers. America was built by bailing out winners, by rigging a nation of the winners, for the winners, by the winners.
Just think for a moment. What is the end game here? What is the big picture view that I asked you guys to keep in the back of your mind in the beginning of today's video? They have more debt. Governments around the world today have more debt in 2026 than they had in the 1940s. They're going to have to print a lot of money. They're going to have to raise taxes on you. The way that they raise taxes on you is being able to track everything and every place that you spend your money on. They do that through CBDCs and digital IDs. And governments, again, from all around the world, why are they following this coordinated lockstep march towards a digital panopticon? It's because, well, let's have a look at this chart. I don't want to make assertions. I need to be careful with what I say. This chart is an interesting chart. We can see at the top of this chart,
Winners
we have the policy creators.
of the winners.
We have the Bank of International Settlements, the central banks. Again, think of the European Central Bank, headed up by Christine Lagarde. Then we've got the policy distributors.
For the winners.
In here, we've got the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and then underneath the policy creators and the policy distributors, we have the policy executors.
By the winners.
That is where our national governments, who are supposedly democratically elected, come into this plan. Nobody wants to buy the debt of the US government, but nobody wants to buy the debt of any Western government. That's because we're living in a sovereign debt crisis, and they're going to have to print more than $10 trillion to make that debt solvent, nominally. And anybody holding dollars or government debt is going to be absolutely wrecked.
America doesn't bail out the losers.
Nigga, what the hell did you say?
Over the next 6, 12, 18 months.
America was built by bailing out winners.
And this is why they want a global asset registry. Because if you have a global asset registry, as our cheerful lady in the intro very eloquently described for us, we need to know who owns the frickin' money. And when they know who owns the frickin' money, they're going to take all your frickin' money. But this narrative of a global asset registry, this is essential if you're going to pass unrealized capital gains taxes and exit taxes.
You go to church, Nash? You go to church?
Sure.
Only 1 in 100 is going to get on that ark, son. And every other poor soul's going to drown.
And anybody holding dollars or government debt is going to be absolutely wrecked.
I'm not going to drown.